Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne, and this is a video called Proper Etiquette for discussing Revelation, discussing the book of Revelation. Um, I was watching another video on YouTube, and they brought up this passage in James. I thought it would be a good passage for this series I'm doing on the book of Revelation. You can find this video and another 10 videos on the book of Revelation on my YouTube homepage under the playlist called End Times Playlist. So I want to address a passage in James chapter 3, and it's James chapter 3, verse 13 to 18. So this is, I'm going to read parts of the passage, and then I'm going to give commentary as I go through. But this is particularly for people discussing the book of Revelation, teaching on the book of Revelation, and responding in comments under a video. And there's so many people who comment on the book of Revelation and argue and are really rude and condescending and prideful and self-righteous when it comes to the book of Revelation. They're pretty unyielding and don't listen to another person's argument. They don't listen to what another person is saying. And that behavior, no matter how wise they think they are, no matter how trained or how much education they feel they have, no matter how much study they've done into the book of Revelation, that very behavior isn't displaying wisdom, and it's not God's wisdom that they're displaying in their behavior. And James speaks about the wisdom that comes from God and the wisdom that comes from Satan, and he very truly discusses the wisdom that people use when it comes to arguing around the book of Revelation or any other scripture verse. So James chapter 3 verse 13 says, "Who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom." Let him show that his works are done in the humility of wisdom. Meekness is another word for humility. Humility is not something that people that discuss when the rapture is discuss the book of Revelation. Humility is not something that people who discuss that generally show. They're not humble people. They're self-righteous, prideful, rude people, and they're not very humble. Verse 14, "But if you have bitter envy and self-seeking in your hearts, do not boast and lie against the truth." So many people have got 20 or 30 years experience in researching the book of Revelation, and they have self-seeking in their hearts, and they boast and they lie against the truth. So many people, through their years of study, have built up this self-importance and self-seeking, and they misrepresent the wisdom of God. Verse 15, "This wisdom does not descend from above, but is earthly, sensual, and demonic. Where every envy and self-seeking exists, confusion and every evil thing are there." So many people who enter into arguments over the book of Revelation, they're not doing it with godly wisdom. They're not arguing with godly wisdom. They're doing it with self-seeking, with earthly, sensual, and demonic arguments. For where every self-seeking exists, confusion and every evil thing are there. And that's why there's confusion in debates and discussions around the book of Revelation, because it's not coming from godly wisdom. Verse 17, but the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. So there's some attributes that people who discuss and argue over the book of Revelation don't fulfill. They don't fulfill these attributes: pure, peaceable, gentle, willing to yield. They're things that they definitely don't carry. They're not pure in their conversation. They're not peaceable in their conversation. They're not gentle in their conversation. They're not willing to yield. None of the people involved in discussions about Revelation and arguments about Revelations are ever willing to yield. They're never in a position where they'll listen to someone's argument and be convinced and yield to that argument. They're never willing to yield. They're not full of mercy and good fruits, and they're not without partiality and hypocrisy. If you want to discuss the book of Revelation, if you want to enter into a fruitful discussion about the book of Revelation, you want to use godly wisdom. And I'll read that verse again. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, then gentle, then willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. Without partiality is treating a person with love that has a different understanding of the book of Revelation than you. Treating a person without hypocrisy is being a Christian in name and fruit, being gentle, being willing to yield, being peaceable, being pure, displaying godly character in the midst of your discussion. If your discussion is all about making the other person feel hopeless, proving your point and forcing your point down someone else's throat, then it's not godly wisdom, it's demonic wisdom. Now, the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace. You could hardly call those discussions peace or be sown in peace by those who make peace. So, I just want to share with you that one of the best things you can do is not study the book of Revelation, have nothing to do with the book of Revelation, and instead get in touch and fulfill the Great Commission and obey Jesus and obey what Jesus taught in his 50 commandments and his 54 parables. I've got 2 books called the Commandments of Jesus Made Simple, explained by Jesus himself, and the Parables of Jesus Made Simple, explained by Jesus himself. Understand what his commandments are, what his parables are, and start to walk in them and participate in life walking in them. Come away from the book of Revelation. Stop trying to argue and force your way in the book of Revelation. And if you are having discussions about that book, make sure you're using godly wisdom as defined in that passage there. So I pray that this video helped you, gave you something to think about, and that passage is found in James chapter 3. God bless.